So I finally got home back to Canada and I could finally take a look at this video. Obviously, as you guys know, the CN version of Nikke recently came out, and with that was a boatload of drama, and I never fully understood the drama to the max, right? The only stuff I understood was what was being said, right? And what I had seen in terms of like quality of life updates and stuff like that, right? Not to mention the dev notes that Nikke themselves posted, basically just saying, well, we're gonna treat CN NIKKE a different game, so they're gonna get this and global isn't, right? So I want to watch this video. It's called Nikke CN, the good, the bad, and the ugly, to see how severe this drama was or still is, because a lot of people are still upset about the CN drama, but people are just not like, okay, we're gonna, you know, quit Nikke and stuff like that. They're not saying that anymore, because Nikke basically said it is what it is, get over it. But I'm gonna leave the original video down below in the description and the comment section. Shout outs to the content creator Eisen, I'm not sure how to say the name, but let's go ahead and take a look right now.
So this was not something that was supposed to be released today. I had another completely different Nikke video planned, but I thought it would be in a bit of a bad taste if I released that before addressing the concerns of the community, the concerns of myself even. So let's get into it. Let's start with the bad. As many of you already know, Nikke was released in CN quite recently, and it went well.
So it was May 22nd, so it just became a month, like a few days ago, right? Like 5 days ago, it was just a month that the CN version released. So okay, let's see what this has to do. Like, let's see what this is about now.
For them. But it came with some quality of life improvements that we, the global players, do not have. Some of these include the SSR molds, the manufacturer molds. They have been straight up improved in CN to have better rates, essentially. There are better load times, although I'd have to argue that that isn't totally true. Our game is at least 10 times the size of CN's game. We have way more mini games. We have way more in the archives. We have almost 40 chapters worth of just stuffed into the game.
Now, I'm gonna let him finish before I give my opinion on this, but I don't know, like, I'm not understanding what he's getting at here. Obviously, like, Nikke's been on the global side, Nikke's been up for almost 3 years now, so of course they're gonna have more stuff in general. I don't know if people expected, and I'm not talking about this content creator, but I'm in general, I don't know if people expected CN to release with every single thing that global had within the last 3 years. Like, obviously not. So I don't know what he's getting at here, but we'll see.
Whereas CN, they were as big as we were when the game was released in global. Their game is much smaller. It makes sense that the game is much faster. Now, if we're going to compare CN's release to our release in terms of faster load times, I bet CN's is better. But it makes sense. Of course it would be faster. They've improved the optimization. And they've already addressed it to us. They want to make it faster. Fine. There's other smaller problems I don't care as much, like resetting a unit completely costs like 10 gems for us. For them, it costs nothing. Whoop-de-doo.
Like, I will say, like, honestly, I feel like, because I did see this part as well, right? And like 10 gems is not that crazy. I don't feel like, I get it. At the end of the day, 10 gems is still 10 gems, right? And if you were to, like, you know, reset the level of like 10 characters, that's now 100 gems. If you were to reset the level of 100 characters, that's 1,000 gems. I get it, but it's like, if you're doing that, it's so weird for me to say this, but if you're resetting your character's level constantly, then I don't know what to tell you. The whole reason why they have a synchro device in this game is so that you don't have to reset the levels, right? Now, I feel like this right here, the level reset, that's the biggest reach. Like, I don't know if people are really upset about this one, but when they get into the synchro, because that's the only thing I'm a bit upset about, right? The synchro, oh my God, when you guys see that, we'll get into it. Let's see.
10 gems, I don't care. The synchro device cooldown is 4 hours for us. They don't have a cooldown. Again, I don't really care too much.
Now, for this one, I do care personally, right? As a content creator who has to spend 500 gems every single like new character to do a showcase of them, I honestly have a boatload of characters that I never touch, and I know that's everybody in the game. We have so many characters, SR, like collab limited characters, or even just some old SSR characters that we never use. Like, I've never in my life used Signal, but I do have her in a synchro slot. If I was able to remove Signal from my synchro slot and then put in the new character for free, I would do that. And honestly, I would do that with every new character for the sake of like my videos and my challenge videos and stuff like that. Honestly, even just for the sake of like my general gameplay, I would easily remove all the characters that I never use for free and then put in the characters that I want to use in there, so I don't have to use 500 gems to open up another slot. You get what I mean? Because now with having to wait this 4-hour time as a content creator specifically, right? This is maybe not the same for every single individual player, but as a content creator, to wait 4 hours to like put a character in a synchro slot, if I'm removing them, means I'm waiting 4 hours to record a video, not to mention all the time after that to edit it and put it out and all that stuff. So it's like, for me personally, I would definitely love that feature, because I am not going to be sitting here spending 500 gems every single slot when I could just replace characters that I never use or don't use anymore with the brand new character, right? I would easily take Amelia off and put in the brand new character. I would easily take Crow, Signal, Ipeno, Inuo. I would take all these characters off whenever a new character comes out for free and slap the new character in there for the video, or for, heck, even just said content, right? Let's say I wanted to put a character I've never once in my life touched into the synchro slot. I would just remove a character I never used before and put them in there, then use them for that content and then just replace it back or whatever, right? I feel like, sure, it might be a bit more work, but I would rather do that than spend 500 gems every single slot. And then, not to mention, if you want to, like, you have the cooldown removed earlier, you have to spend 240 gems. I'm sorry, it's 3,000 gems to do a multi, so spending that much gems for slots and refreshes is just not ideal. I'm sorry, but let's see.
It doesn't affect me. It shouldn't affect 99% of players on a day-to-day basis. Tribe Tower.
I'll agree with that. Like I said, I don't know how this is gonna, like, how everybody in the community feels, just like I just said a while ago. I think for a content creator, looking from the content creator's perspective, like for myself, I don't know how every other content creator is, right? But for myself, solely me, I do prefer what CN has, because it will save me gems, and saving me gems means more content in terms of more summons and more chances of the character and all the extra stuff. So yeah,
having autocomplete is pretty significant. I think
that's crazy. There's nobody ever can say this is not good, right? CN to have auto tower,
dailies go by fast.
Sorry, I pressed the button. CN to have auto tower is just diabolical. You can't even make that up, right? And it's not like I could play Nikke on blue stacks anymore, right? If I could, I would set up a freaking macro to just auto do the tower for me, but I can't even do that. And the fact that I have to set up a macro when CN has this freaking auto system, it's not fair. We all know it's not fair, so yeah.
Faster, so that is a valid complaint. Solo raid icons are animated. That's cool. Competitive players would love that. And that's just about it. From what I've seen, the community's biggest complaint, and mine as well, are the molds. So here's the thing about the molds. Okay, I've had to go back and re-record this because there's been some new developments, and I felt like my original take wasn't quite accurate anymore. So we've been made to believe that the CN molds are really good. Players will get access to more SSR characters, and that's that. I want to stress the narrative that yes, it still is an upgrade. The CN version is an upgrade to ours. That does suck, but by how much? People have made it sound, the Doom posters, the vocal minority of people, content creators alike, are crying at the top of their lungs saying that this is the worst thing they've ever seen and the game is going to die. You know who I'm talking about. I just don't believe this. If you look here, especially the Pilgrim mold, because that's the most important thing, it would take over a year. Again, listen clearly. Over a year to get one guarantee.
Over a year. I think I seen someone, I don't know if it was Safai or if it was Sky. I seen somebody on Twitter I think post like the calculations behind that, and obviously like at the end of the day, you're either getting a Pilgrim or you're getting a I don't know. Like I get what he's saying in terms of yeah, it would be over a year to get that, but I would rather spend, like, generally, I'm not even being funny, I would rather either guarantee get a pilgrim or a mode that guarantees me a pilgrim eventually than go a whole year of getting nothing but Rs and SR characters. And I'm sure we can all agree on that, because I've went almost, I think I went a year and a half, right? A year and a half. Every single time I got a pilgrim mode, it was an R character. How many rant videos did I do for like the last year or two of just like, okay, the fact that I'm waiting this long to get a pilgrim mode and now I'm only getting Rs and SRs is a joke, right? Within that year of only getting Rs and SRs, I would have been guaranteed a pilgrim SSR with this mode. Not to mention the pilgrim modes are getting increased and like they're getting more characters as more pilgrims get by. You get what I'm saying? So it's like, sure, I understand that it does take a year, but I would rather wait a year to guarantee get a pilgrim than play Nikke for the rest of my life getting Rs and SRs. Like, I don't think, you know what I mean? I'm either getting a pilgrim or I'm getting a mode that will guarantee me a pilgrim eventually, rather than still summoning for Rs and SRs. And that's just how it's been. Like, I cannot sit here with a straight face and say, oh, I've been getting pilgrims off pilgrim modes. I've rarely gotten pilgrims off pilgrim modes. I mainly get SRs and Rs of pilgrim modes. That's the truth, and that's how it is for everybody. We can all agree. Hence why everybody's complaining about that.
T of a pilgrim, 1 year, and that pilgrim could be anybody. Now, if everyone is crying solely because of this upgrade, then I don't know what else to call it besides soying out. Like, what? Oh, okay. Like, yeah, it's an upgrade. It does suck, but do we have to doom post and make fucking soy faces and crying at the top of our lungs and have tears?
Now, I will agree with him. I will agree with him. And it's something I've been saying a lot in this community. And maybe a lot of you guys watching this video might be like, oh, but Zxous, you're a part of that. But I do believe this Nikke community is a community that will cry and complain about any and everything, right? Like, I genuinely believe the CM version could get a big font, a bigger font of the Nikke logo on their home screen, and people would complain saying we should get that on global, right? I really have been saying this for like the last year, especially. We do complain a lot about nothing, right? Like, at the end of the day, for someone like me, I don't care for pilgrim modes because I'm guaranteed getting the pilgrim on the banner, right? Everybody's whole thing was, let's save for pilgrims, let's say da. I don't care too much about the pilgrim modes, right? I'm not losing sleep over it. I never quit the game. I never sat there and ranted or started some type of freaking protest of getting those pilgrim modes in the game, right? As you guys know, the only thing I care about that CN has is the synchro device. Everything else I could give it, like, and the tower, that's crazy as well. The auto tower and the synchro device are the only two things I care about from what the CN has. But I do agree with him in terms of like, people are complaining, doom posting and stuff like that. Nikke, nothing has changed, right? People said they were going to quit the game. They weren't. Stellar Blade came out, everyone came right back. And now Nier is coming out, everybody's coming right back. Like, nobody's going to quit Nikke because another version has stuff that this version doesn't. It's just, I know it sounds crazy, but no, just see Global as its own game, see CN as its own game, and then you'll be fine. You don't need to worry, or realistically. That's how I see it personally.
Rolling down our faces for this shit? No. To me, the worst part of this whole ordeal after I've learned about this is just the ugly part, which we'll get to later. I'll talk about the ugly part later. But this is just so blown out of proportion. I don't like it. I think if you are running the narrative that your biggest problem is that one server got any quality of life updates at all, doesn't matter how big of a deal they are, doesn't matter how big they are in general, just the fact that they got these quality of life updates and we didn't, then I'm with you. I'm with you on that. That does feel bad. Where should we go? Should we do good next? Let's do ugly. Let's save the good for last. The ugly is not quite as significant. It's just ugly. The CEO of Shift Up came out and reposted a post that was mocking the global players about them complaining.
What? See, these are things I'm never gonna see. Like, generally, I don't use Twitter often, and when I am on Twitter, I'm just scrolling a little bit. I don't go out my way to like do Nikke Reddits or Nikke Twitters or stuff like that. I will only see whatever's on my For You page, right? So far in this video, I agree with him for I would say a lot of the stuff, right? Obviously, I don't disagree with anything. Obviously, we just have different viewpoints on stuff. Like, for example, he doesn't care about the synchro device thing where I do care about it, specifically for content. If I wasn't a content creator, I wouldn't give a damn about it too much. Because at the end of the day, like, if I wasn't a content creator, I wouldn't be rushing and stuff for, you know, for the new character or anything like that. But other than that, I'm not really sure if there's anything else I disagree with or anything that I don't agree with or anything like that.
Complaining too much that we didn't get quality of life. Now, the post itself was certainly in a mocking tone. I feel like the community made it sound way worse than it is. And I understand it doesn't matter how bad it sounds. It's just the fact that the CEO of Shift Up decided to do this at all when he should have just shut up. Honestly, he should have just shut up, full PR mode, full damage control mode. Just be like, okay, we're just going to work on our game. We're going to address the situation, and we're going to go right back to work so that we can give the global players that are complaining, especially the ones that are content creators like myself, that are making videos about this. We have to address this as soon as possible to shut them up, right? We got to shut up to shut them up. That should be his priority. Why on earth would you be reposting stupid shit like that on your social media? So
I do want to, I don't know if I would say I want to defend the CN version when I say this, but like, I understand that the CN version is getting quality of life updates and stuff like that, but I feel like players on the global side, and I think I'll get hate for this, but I think a lot of people have to realize that if we got everything that CN ended up getting right off the jump, or like the moment we started complaining about it, I think CN would start ranting. Right, but I don't feel like it would be fair for them to start complaining, because it's like, I don't know. You guys let me know what you think. Do you think it would be, if we got everything that CN got and they start complaining, would it be fair for them to complain? Because I understand that, yeah, it's something that the CN version had and the global version complained about and then ended up getting, and then like CN feels like, okay, well, what do we have now? We're just dead behind. But it's like, I don't feel like giving a version quality of life updates to make them feel like they're not behind. Their game came out 2 years later and they decided to download it. Like, I'm not being funny, but to sit there and give them quality of life updates because their game is behind when you guys released every other version of the game at once 2.5 years before, I don't know what to say to that. Like, I don't know personally, but we'll see.
So yeah, that is certainly ugly. Having the CEO of your company, the leader, the representative of the game itself, come out and repost something this silly, not a good look. Not a good look for the company, not a good look for us. We look like clowns. We should be praised. We should be put on a pedestal compared to the CN version, because you guys don't know how well CN's going to do anyways. Obviously, the first month of a game's release is going to do well. It's always going to do well. Unless you like seriously fuck up, then okay. But we know you're not going to do that. The game's going to do well in the first month. But do you know it's going to do well in 2.5 years like it is in the global server? No, you don't know that. In 2.5 years, there's going to be huge games coming out. They're going to be still in your player base. We in the global server, we're still here. I hate to act high and mighty, but listen.
One thing I will say, right, like to just kind of touch on what he's saying, I have realized that after 2.5 years with all these games that came out, I don't see people quitting Nikke for that game. Like, you know what I mean? Like freaking Zenless Zone Zero and Honkai Star Rail and Wuwa, these are all games that came out within, you know, the years that Nikke has been out. And I've never seen anyone say, I'm quitting Nikke to play these games. Where when it comes to like Honkai Star Rail, I've seen people say, I'm quitting Honkai Star Rail to play that new Ethereal restart game. I've seen a lot of people say, I'm quitting Genshin Impact to play Wuwa. I've seen a lot of people say, I'm quitting this game to play Zenless Zone Zero. But I've never seen anybody once in my comments say, I'm quitting Nikke to play this game. You know what I mean? Because Nikke, at the end of the day, is like a 5-minute game. If you're in endgame, you're only playing Nikke for 5 minutes. That's the reality. Because what are you doing after your dailies if there's no new updates? You know what I mean? There's no reason to have to quit Nikke because you're not even putting that much time into it when you're in endgame, right? And it's still fun, in my opinion, but...
Listen, I don't want to call us beta testers because that term implies that the game was not run well before, when it has been. They've done a ton of improvements. The game was playable all this time. We're not beta testers, but we've stuck with you guys. Who are we to you? We are the guys. We are your guys. We will stick with you. We want to stick with you. So mocking us, no matter how insignificant the mocking actually was, it just leaves a bad taste in our mouth. Like, dude, I thought we were...
I agree with him there. I never seen any of the repost stuff, so I didn't know nothing about that. And this is what I mean. Like, I'm assuming a lot of you guys, unless you watched this video, I would assume didn't see that repost stuff. So I never lost sleep over it. And even now, probably after this video, I'm still not gonna care that the CEO reposted that, because it's like, I think once a month has passed, and it has already been a month since this entire thing started, I feel like if nothing has changed and they already addressed it, basically saying nothing is going to change, then it's like you either put up or shut up. You know what I mean? You put it up, like you stick with the game and keep playing it as if nothing ever happened, or you quit the game and then you don't have to worry about it no more. It's just one of the two. You don't have to sit here and still say CN bad, CN bad, CN bad. Notice, right? Once the first video came out from me of this entire thing, I said, yeah, it's bad, because there's nobody in this world that's going to convince me, telling me that auto tower and the synchro device system that CN got isn't like, if Global doesn't have that, that's unfair to me. 100%. They have a feature that lets them auto content while we have to sit there and grind it out ourselves. That's unfair to me. You know what I mean? So after the first month, though, like after the first time this whole thing came out, I made my video, you didn't hear me say CN this, CN that, CN that. I would say back in 2023, especially, that Zxous would have went this whole month ranting about the CN stuff, right? But over time, your boy has matured, and it's just like, okay, I talked about it, I gave my opinion about it, I continued with the dev notes like everybody else, and then I stopped, because it was like to a point where it's like, I'm not gonna sit here and complain every single day of the week about an update I already know they said we are not going to get for a while, or heck, at all. Simple as. So that's just what a lot of people got to start doing. Personally, that's what I believe.
Friends, right, bro? I thought we were cool, man. Like we're bros, like me and you. And then CN is like the half brother, right? That we're trying to welcome into the family. Like, hey, you guys, this game is sick. We don't want you to go over and be like, hey, here's all this shit. Here's a brand new car. I don't want to equate the quality of life to a brand new car, but you know what I mean, right? And then turn around and be like, yeah, don't complain. You better not complain. Bad taste in our mouth. I don't like it. So now I'm going to address the good news. And I'm assuming most people don't care about this because they're hungry for drama anyway. So to those people, fuck off. Only real fans from now on, okay? No. The good news is that, yeah, the CN server has been really successful. CN bros seem to really love the game, and that's awesome. The more players, the merrier. I want to share this game's lore with more people, to share the game's experience with more people, to be hyped for things with more people. That's awesome. And Shift Up is going to collect the revenue, and hopefully, let me emphasize that, they put it back into the game for the rest of us to improve both servers, right? Hopefully that's what they do. And to go along with that, now that we've had this controversy, now that we've complained, rightly so, they should be like, oh shit, we messed up. We messed up bad. We need to work double time, unless we want to end up like the Black Beacon devs, where I'm assuming they've lost most of their player base by now because they completely left their global community in the dust, or the Infinity Nikke devs. I hate the similar names. Nikke devs that have done a way worse job at damage control than Nikke has. Nikke has already addressed the concerns in this recent developer note. Now, they didn't talk about molds.
I'm not even gonna lie, I was surprised when I seen the dev notes. And I remember when the dev notes came out, everybody, like literally on the Twitter post or even on my comment section for that video, said that the dev notes felt rushed, which, I mean, I guess it did, because it was like they addressed it like 2 days after everything started. Or like a day. I think it was like a day. It was a day or two, but they addressed everything a day or two after like everybody started complaining and stuff like that, right? But obviously, like Eisen here is saying, I do also agree with the fact that, I mean, getting CN players and having them enjoy the game means more players for Nikke, more popularity for Nikke, obviously makes more money for Nikke. Obviously, your boy's about to be a papa, so for someone like me who makes money off Nikke, as long as the game is not dead, right? And I don't want you guys thinking I only play Nikke for the cheddar, because I started off this. Remember, I dropped my whole other content creation, my whole other channel I was making money on for Nikke, right? Because that's how much I enjoyed the game, and I still do. I do feel like Nikke have their dry spells here and there, but I still obviously enjoy the game. Where I wouldn't put effort into my account, I wouldn't put effort into my videos and stuff like that. Trust me. It is what it is, but I obviously do think the more players for Nikke, the more successful it's going to be. Nikke has proven to be one of those games that are going to stay up and relevant for a long time. I already knew Nikke made a boatload of money when I think it was the first anniversary or the 1.5 anniversary in the live stream. Somewhere in there, like the developer said, oh, Nikke, like I can promise you Nikke is going to hit 10 years. And they've made enough money that they're guaranteeing us 10 years of Nikke. That's crazy. Hey, it is what it is, bro. I'm here. I'll be here for the next 8 years, I guess. Let me know what you guys think.
Which is a big deal, but they've addressed the issue. They haven't given a solution. They haven't given a time frame. Fine. At least not for everything. But they are talking about it. They are aware. They are listening to feedback. There's tons of videos made by content creators. I'm sure they're watching them. They know we are concerned. We're not happy. And I think because of this movement, changes will be made. They've been made in the past and they will be made again. And that is my hope. I have hope in these devs. They've made it great.
I'm so curious about something. I want to see something real quick. All right, so I'm here on Nikke's page, right? I want to see, like, when they have these, like, update stuff, I want to see if anybody's still talking about the CN stuff. I've been playing this game for a short time, Jane. This time, there's always been some CDK page raid, CN better performance, Raven does okay. So T mentioned CN, but it's not like, oh, give us CN. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I'm not seeing anything about like, oh, fix the game or make it like CNs. You get what I mean? Like, I don't think anybody's really talking about it anymore, because I think it's just gotten to a point where it's like, why would they? You know what I mean? If they made a developer note saying that, yeah, it's gonna be like this for a while, so just get used to it. Or I don't want to word it like that, because that sounds crazy. Nikke basically said that they gave this to CN so that CN doesn't feel left behind. Long story short, that's exactly what they said, basically, right? But they never said that Global is never going to get this, right? They literally just said that Global is eventually going to get it, but just not like anytime soon. That's what I took from that, right? But like I said, nobody in the comments here are talking about make it like CN, make it like CN, make it like CN. And I feel like that whole narrative of like, yeah, let's make the game like CN, give us all the quality of life updates that CN has onto Global. I don't feel like people are pushing that anymore. I'm sure people would still love to have those quality of life updates, but I don't see anybody really talking about it anymore. So yeah, maybe people are not mad anymore because they addressed it. I don't know. You guys let me know what you think.
Great game so far. It's not like this game is totally shit. Yeah, the $60 gotcha skin has never been addressed. Oh well. Okay, people, if there's a demand for it, then why would they ever change it, right? Like, even me, I'm buying the skins too. Not all of them, but I'm a culprit. Like, fuck me, right? I suck. But anyways, the game is good. This is a great game. They've given us a lot of stuff. The recent massive update that did the Drake event, where you can get 3 full copies of
this right here. Like, I don't even know what when people say this event is good because they gave 3 Drake copies, I feel like they're not even understanding what the hell this update really did. I opened up the game one day and I got to like level up 5, 6, 7 characters to 10, 10, 10 just because of this update, right? Because I already had a lot of the challenge missions done, the weekly missions done, daily missions done. I got to literally get like 10 characters 10, 10, 10 because of this one update. I hope they do this for a different, like a more characters in the future.
Of Drake and a ton of materials. We've been complaining about the lack of materials. Boom. They give it to us. They will fix it, guys. We have to have hope in these devs. We can't just sit here and pretend like these are the worst devs on the planet. They're not. They're quite good.
I agree with him there. I 100% agree with him there. I do understand people are upset about the CN stuff, right? I 100% understand that. I 100% agree with what, you know, everybody's saying. Yeah, but we cannot take away from the fact that for the last 2.5 years, Nikke has been cooking, right? Again, within a day or two, they addressed the whole situation. So like even he said, I'm sorry, I don't know how to say the name. like he said, they are aware, right? And I'm sure as time goes by, they're going to be like, okay, maybe for like an anniversary or something, let's make this game 10 times better and give us all this crazy stuff. Because look at all the mass updates we got for the last anniversary. I can probably, I don't want to say guarantee you, but I'm like 80% confident that by the 3rd anniversary, we're going to get one feature, minimum, one quality of life feature from the CN version will come to global 3rd anniversary. I'm 80% confident in that. Because CN, like, just because they did say, okay, this is how it's going to be on CN for a bit and this is how it's going to be on global, doesn't mean that they're saying this is never going to come to global. You know what I mean? So, yeah.
On the grand scale of things, it's been 2.5 years. They're going to have a fuck up eventually. And here it is. This is not their first fuck up, but it's not like their 10th either. They will address these problems. I have hope in these guys. And let me tell you, if they never do, or if it takes way too long, I'll call them out. We'll all call them out. It would suck, but that's just how it's gonna be. That's how we roll. But for now, I do have hope. These guys have delivered before. They will do it again. So that's my copium moment. If it doesn't happen, all hell will break loose. Let me tell you that. So now with that out of the way, the new Nikke video is coming out soon. I will release it with no changes. I will hopefully continue to make Nikke content and hope for the better of this game. Right now we're in dark times, but I do think things will improve. Yes. You guys are awesome. Don't let people influence you into thinking that these devs are the worst, that this game is the worst thing ever, but also the opposite. Don't have people...
All right, well, I guess that's the end of the video, but yeah, like I said, agree with a lot of the video. I don't really disagree with anything besides obviously just the different viewpoints we have in terms of like what we care for and stuff. Like, I know there's a lot of people who probably care about the level reset thing. I don't really care about that. I know there's a lot of people who care about the like the molds and stuff like that. Honestly, I don't want to sit here and say I don't care for it, but I'm not losing sleep over it. Like, sure, I would love to have the type of mode system they have, right? I would guarantee, I think everybody would rather have either getting a pilgrim or getting a mode that eventually guarantees you a pilgrim than getting a pilgrim and getting or getting Rs and SR characters, right? And then once you get that R and SR character, you have to keep resetting to get, you know what I mean? Because after all of the Rs and SR characters I have gotten over the last 2.5 years, I would have been guaranteed about 3 pilgrims now. I would rather take that than those Rs and SRs. So I feel like that mode system at the end of the day is valid, but I don't know. I feel like the CN stuff kind of hushed down after the dev notes. Maybe it's just me. I don't really care too much about it. Hence why after the initial time this first came out and then the dev notes, you didn't hear nothing from me again about it. It's not that big of a deal. He did throw some shots at some content creators. I don't know if I am included in that. I mean, I usually am included in some of that, so if I am, I do want to apologize to my community if I did end up dragging out the CN thing. I think I made 2 or 3 videos, which again, one was the initial thing, one was finding out. Yeah, I made a video on the initial, like, hearing about it. Then the second video I made on was reacting to the stuff that CN got, all the stuff CN got, and then the third one was the dev notes, and that was it. So if I am one of them that, you know, one of those content creators that did make it out to my audience that like, oh, Nikke devs are bad, I don't know if I am, but if I am to you guys, I want to apologize now. I definitely know of some content creators you're talking about, and I'm sure that content creator knows exactly what you're talking about as well. But hey, it is what it is. You guys let me know what you guys think. Please share your opinion down below in the comments, but don't go for CN. Me making a video about this or reacting to this is not to like I said in the beginning, to relive the drama or re-bring up the drama. It's just to kind of see another point of it and, you know, see where other people's heads are at and stuff like that. So yeah, but I mean, honestly, I thought this video was gonna have more in terms of like what the CN stuff got that I didn't already know about. It didn't, so it is what it is. But let me know what you guys think. It's your boy Zxous, and I'm gonna see you guys in the next one. I'm out later. Peace.